The ring stopped him cold, as if time itself had tightened around his chest. In a ballroom bright with chandeliers and power, a single dad who had learned to survive on grit and patience felt the floor tilt beneath his boots. Years of scraped knuckles, late-night bus rides, and whispered prayers pressed into one glittering circle of memory, and the promise he once made as a child rose like a tide he could not hold back. If you believe in kindness and second chances, take a moment right now to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Stories like this live because you believe in them. He had come to the event to fix a problem no one else wanted to touch. The company that hired him needed a miracle done quietly, and he was known for those. He was a black single father who carried his life in a toolbox and a backpack, whose hands told stories of work that did not wait for applause. His mornings began before dawn, packing lunches and braiding hair, teaching his son that gentleness could be strong. He did not expect to be noticed. He expected to finish the job, collect the check, and go home to homework and leftovers. The ballroom was not his world. It smelled of polished floors and ambition, a place where decisions traveled faster than buses and dreams wore tailored suits. At the center of it all stood the CEO, a woman whose presence drew a hush without effort. She moved with calm authority, the kind earned by years of climbing where few welcomed her. When she extended her hand to thank him for his work, he saw the ring. Not because it was expensive, though it was. Not because it shone, though it did. He saw it because it was the same ring, or so close that his breath caught as if he had run into his own childhood. He had been a boy then, small and hungry in ways that had nothing to do with food. He remembered rubble and dust, a place where laughter was currency and hope felt borrowed. There was a girl who shared her bread and her courage, who tied his scraped knee with a strip of cloth and told him the world could be kinder if they were. On a day when the sky was a dull coin, she found a ring in the dirt, bent but unbroken, and pressed it into his palm as if it were a secret. He promised her everything a boy could promise, a future he did not know how to build. Life took them apart the way storms separate birds, and years taught him how fragile vows could be when the ground beneath them shifts. The CEO's ring bore the same flaw, a tiny nick on the band, a memory etched into metal. He steadied himself and finished the job with the care he gave everything. The applause rolled past him, but inside, the past was knocking. He went home that night and sat on the floor with his son, building towers out of blocks, feeling the ache of old dreams he had learned to keep folded away. Being a single dad had taught him how to keep going when endings arrived uninvited. It had taught him to choose patience over bitterness, to carry pride quietly, to believe that love could be rebuilt one day at a time. Days passed. Work came and went. He tried to forget the ring, but memory has a way of insisting. When an unexpected call brought him back to the building, he felt the pull again. This time, he saw the CEO up close, not as a headline, but as a person carrying the weight of decisions that shaped lives. She recognized him too, not for the work, but for the way he listened. There was a shared pause, a sense of familiarity that did not need explanation. He noticed the scar on her wrist that matched the story he carried, and the room seemed to narrow to the space between them. Their lives, it turned out, had traveled parallel roads paved with different stones. She had fought through glass ceilings and closed doors, learning to lead without losing herself. He had fought through empty pockets and long nights, learning to parent without a net. Both had learned resilience the hard way. Both had learned that love does not always arrive on schedule, but it remembers. The truth unfolded not as a revelation, but as a recognition. The ring had been kept not as a treasure, but as a reminder of who she once was, of a boy who believed in her when belief was scarce. The promise had not been a contract, but a seed. Seeing him now, steady and kind, raising a child with tenderness, she felt the same warmth she had felt in the dust long ago. And he, seeing her lead with integrity, felt pride where regret had once lived. Nothing changed overnight. Lives rarely allow for shortcuts. There were schedules to untangle, fears to face, and a child to protect from false hope. But something had shifted. Invitations replaced silence. Support replaced assumption. Trust, earned slowly, began to bridge years of absence. The ring no longer froze him. It steadied him, a reminder that even broken circles can be mended. As seasons turned, the man who once fixed problems quietly found himself seen not for what he could repair, but for who he was. The CEO who had learned to stand alone learned that partnership did not mean losing ground. Together, they discovered that promises made in innocence can grow into commitments forged by choice. If this story touched your heart, please take a moment near the end of this video to like, share, and subscribe. Your engagement helps stories of hope find the people who need them most. Before the ending, please comment below and tell us what second chances mean to you, or share a moment when life surprised you with something good. In the glow of a future neither of them had planned, the ring found its place not as a symbol of a childhood vow, but as proof that kindness can echo across years. And somewhere between bedtime stories and boardroom lights, a family began. Not because fate demanded it, but because love remembered the way.